Hey guys, welcome back to Impromptu Settings, where Cuddy and I are thinking of something fun to get our initial thoughts. But it's news hot off the presses. I'm actually in transit to Dallas right now, so sorry if you hear me jacking noise. I'm employed. I want to get this out as soon as possible for you guys so we can start a discussion, or a larger discussion. So we've seen some Facebook posts, we've seen in the chat of our locals. Um, and it's a little bit difficult to understand at first, but I took some time and read through the rules and everything and the direction they're going for, and we just have a lot of thoughts, so we want to get this out of our head as soon as possible. So without further ado, I am the doctor, and that is cloudy over here. And we're going. All right, so what happened today is they dropped the uh, rules and just like kind of like the proceedings I was going to have time for Worlds. Since only two are going to be there, two who are invited, if you're leading one will lose the dual fee. And what's the national called? I can
World.
no, the like DOC nationals. No, nat. Oh, yeah, you did it well. Yeah, you got always. Anyways, no, so yeah, so there's two things available. So we got two quote new formats. They're available for how the world's for Eden going to go. We're thinking it's gonna be a day one, day two thing, which that's probably gonna be the reality too. So first thing is, and the more traditional thing is constructing. So it's constructed and it's sealed event. So the idea is, show your skills in two different ways. Because in deck building, when you have plenty of time to think about it, in this case, players are going to have a little bit less than a month to acclimate to the new set. Because Jafar will be live for this since tournament was at the end of the last weekend of Kings. Yeah, so the traditional quote unquote format is going to be triple deck format. So players will need to construct 3 decks and 2 colors of each deck, each being a unique color. So that means that you cannot have double dipping deck. To say like you have the 2 decks with them. All 6 colors need to be represented across your suite of decks. Now, how you get there and what combination you choose is up to you. But those are the terms. You start and so in the match, best of 3, with the grand final being best of 5. So how the proceedings will go is game 1, players will reveal their opponents like what decks, what color combinations they chose for each deck, and then they'll decide who goes first. And after that, they will give their opponent their ink tokens, which represent like each of their decks. Their opponent will secretly pick one of those 3 tokens to have as bench to bench one of their opponent's decks, meaning they won't play it for the whole match. So really, it's like a 2 deck versus 2 deck thing with a banning phase. If you're not thinking about that, part of our mobile players. And then at the start of the first game, they're gonna reveal their ink pair tokens at the same time to indicate what deck they did choose. So after game 1, if the player who lost, after game 1, the player who lost has the option to switch out to the deck that they lost with, or the deck they have still available. So it just gives them an option to kind of switch up their thing. Again, it's their other deck. They probably have their ideas. Now they have a little bit more information. So it looks like you only can switch decks if you lose. And then, obviously the winning player has to switch to their deck that wasn't benched. So the other available deck. You can only win with the deck one time, unless it's the grand finals where you have to win with all 3 of your decks at least one time. So that's the gambit. for the triple deck constructed format. And you're me. Now let's talk about that one actually before we discuss the rules. Sure. So having the ability to bench one of your opponent's decks, I don't necessarily know how to feel about that. Like it's both good and bad. Obviously, everybody is thinking like, what's going to be the most likely combination of decks you want to see? I was talking to Doc before the video. Old school me would be like, okay, go for like a blue steel, purple red, amber emerald. So like a very strong combination that's consistent, especially with set 8 bringing in a lot of support for Churning Dog. I'm also leaning towards maybe amber emerald, purple steel, and blue red. That seems like pretty strong combination right there. You have control to win after you get your aggro win with the other two decks. One of your because they can only ban one. So if they ban your control, you go for aggro. And I think the buffs from this set, with the addition of Bambi into the purple steel decks, as well as Churning Dog just getting a bunch of support from set 8 as well, like the new lady being very strong. I think it's probably one of the stronger combinations you can come out. Of course, there's other things you can do. Emerald Steel, Purple Red, and what's the other? It's not that. I'm sorry. Emerald Steel, Purple Amber as an aggro because that's getting the buff as well. I don't know if it'll be cheesy enough to win. And then having your blue red as well. There's other combinations. Of course, there's a bunch of combinations, but obviously there's a few that float to the top, and having the ability to run like potentially 2 aggro lists, going back to the list of purple, steel, amber, emerald, and blue red. And if my opponent has a mirror, let's say, I could just ban the blue red. Even though blue red is probably not a hard matchup if you go first against it with these aggro decks, but you can just ban the whatever deck that can probably stop you, like maybe purple red. If someone's running that deck in their combinations, that's pretty good against aggro. You say, okay, I ban that one, and then I shoot to try to go first. If I lose the second game, okay. Third game, I go first again, and I have the aggro that can kind of storm it out. And the thing about these aggro decks that it tends to not be as good is when you can figure out the main engine that keeps it running and stuff it out with your deck that consistently has a way to stuff it out. But when you have to swap your deck, not every deck has answers to these cards. You know what I'm saying? Like if a guy just comes out and has the consistent Bambi Goat or Bambi Cobra play and is like, oh man, this is really rough. He's starting to bounce it. He's starting to play the songs removed by things. Bambi goes back to hand. Every time I play a card, this is kind of rough for me to deal with, and he steals a win from you. It's like, I don't ever get to see that again. So that is something that's very interesting. Obviously, this definitely helps show who's like a one-trick pony with their decks, and who's actually a really good player. And I feel conflicted about that as well because, if you want to equate this to other games, I have an example of both sides of this coin. Whereas, like, if you look at like a fighting game or something, let's say Street Fighter 6, if a guy is really good at playing, let's say Cammy, they're not really that good at playing every other character as a high level, but their Cammy is one of, if not the best in the world. It's like, I'm a Cammy player. Why can't I play Cammy in all my matches to win this tournament? It's like, okay, you won with Cammy, now I got to play with Ryu or Chun-Li now. And it's like, but I'm good at Cammy. So it's like, if I play Purple Red and I'm really good at Purple Red and I've been playing that throughout all the sets, and you say, hey, you won no game with that, now you have to swap to play something else. That's very unfortunate for those type of people who likes to just play a combination. Like, if all it you play a combination, you can play it though. Think about that because maybe you get banned. Yeah, they can just ban. It's like, oh, I know who you are. You love to play this color combination. I ban it. So that's real. Like, DKP, they're probably gonna hit that guy. They'll probably say, oh, you got a purple red, ban it, bitch it. Sorry, midget. I'm gonna fight you. It might be a bait too, because it's a real meta game that it's a meta game with the population being so low, right? They kind of shot themselves in the foot with having it be so restrictive. It's probably going to be a good show. These players of each other respect each other, and in most cases, so they're gonna really try to. I think they're trying to count some sleepy stuff personally.
I hope so.
I think that's the only way to a still have fun while competing. I mean, ultimately, it's not all about competition. That's fun, right?
Yeah.
It's not a clear way to. It's not a clear way to just it's not a clear way to guarantee victory.
And I would have loved a round robin format where you can play whatever deck you want, but you got to go against every single person and you see who wins and things like that. You see the meta games going with it. But this is fine. I'm not angry about this.
I think this is more like thematically better. And like I said, it's gonna be a better show because no one, only people are in attendance are gonna be
The players. Yeah. So, um,
the winners and on the fifth of
this,
the top people.
yeah.
So yeah, but like people in the channel weren't too upset about this format. We're like, obviously the one that are annoying.
Yeah.
As far as consistency is concerned, but like you gotta have the entropy to have a good game. And that's why I play good game, I guess. Um, so I mean,
And other games do this as well. I mean, like if you look at like, I don't know, like a MOBA or something like League of Legends, easily if a guy was like a one trick, they can just ban a character out, force him to play something else. They do this all the time.
so I mean they can't do that for all the players of their team, but
Exactly. But it's like if it's one guy who's like really good at like a certain character, oh that guy's really good at Zaz, ban it. Okay. And then we move on.
and the metagame, like I said, the metagame might include players that are quote unquote known for a deck or a series of archetypes. Figuring out the build it at all, you can go in completely different directions in their streaming and user. So really, you have to do it thing in the best interest of what your gameplay is versus your perceived opponent's here. I don't know. Any more thoughts, sir? You want some X?
I mean, like I said, like you kind of mentioned, I hope we have a lot of diversity here, not only within the color combinations, but within the decks themselves. I'm really hoping that we see different archetypes of the color combinations. Like I hope we get the Jafar Werewolf from Zane, and I hope we get some like maybe under the sea shenanigans with the amethyst emeralds instead of just trying dog and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. Don't be surprised if unfortunately I guess not unfortunately, but like if some of these higher color combination, like high divisions that we're headcanning already is going to be something to winner. Like the odds of somebody winning and having blue, red as their in their color pie is pretty high, in my opinion. And steel is very versatile, so I'm not going to pinpoint if it's going to be emerald steel, purple steel, blue steel, or whatever combination, amber steel. But obviously, we're not gonna see red steel, I don't think, on a whatever. Blue emerald, I don't know if it's time for that to make its day in the sun. I would hope. I'm hoping.
I mean, I think it might see what I really want to see during like a good sci-fi amber deck.
If somebody comes up with a sapphire amber deck, like puppies actually is good, that'd be awesome. That'd be
Like what if they people what if they didn't do puppies either? Like what if they just figured out some other
well, like princesses, or maybe
like I said, some theater
off the wall gimmick support.
gambit, yeah.
Support start cooking. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, and it's like then that like what if that forces their opponent to have to ban that combination, then they still have the traditionally golden
X and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. You have a good like emerald steel still available. We've got purple red still available. So like yeah. You gotta think about this important thing as well. So like if they underestimate a certain color combination, these players could have a real opportunity here with some red applications. So my copium pick is a top deck that included a amber sapphire but the word.
I think blue emerald's the most fringe deck we'll see. Be honest.
And rock.
I don't think we're considering purple emerald the fringe.
So yeah, that is in the game. I mean,
that's it's an actual deck. Maybe Blurple? Blurple and respect. Let's get respect.
Yeah, Civil Star killing Norse. That's like is the only combination we haven't seen consistent like caps for that were actually good.
But hey, if they play purple, what are they matching with the red there? You know, are they doing ruby emerald?
Now, yeah, I mean, like the second week is that is red steel, right? So I mean, red steel gets some big buffs this patch. So maybe this like I said, there's not a lot of play out right now. So I'm going with the red steel deck might be better.
Yeah, they have less than a month to refine their decks. So I don't know how likely it is for somebody to try one of these off the wall combinations and have something that's really good. But maybe these guys are smart. They're obviously play testing now before the set is out.
Yep.
So
Hey, I'm gonna be part of your review.
so I'm hoping for, like he said, I'm hoping for some uniqueness and some cool stuff to come.
And third grip. Just mirror. I'm more excited. So it's gonna be in community decks for most. I see like lines, but I don't see the full concept. Yeah. Like I'm just from that. Great. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the exception to that rule is a great segue. When I play sealed, so like I love sealed.
Yeah, still is fun.
And I really thrive in an environment of just like having to figure out with what I what I got, how I'm gonna develop a strategy, undercut expectations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because a lot of time you're playing like one of a card unless you got multiple of the same family or icon in your pack. So in this time, and we don't know which day it is going to fall on, they've unveiled a super sealed format for Worlds, where they're going to get 4 of each of the remaining decks in rotation post Fable. It's got to be Shimmering Size all the way through just like that. So they get 4 of each booster. That's a total of 16 packs of cards each, 4 of each set. They have 60 minutes to construct a 3-ink restricted 50 card sealed. So this means that they, instead of traditional 2, you add a third color, but you're locked into that color. They're locked with the rest of the paragraph. You are able, however, to sideboard with the other cards you have available to you from sealed. So that gives you the opportunity to kind of tech in things. Once you have a little bit more information about how your opponents are playing and move of that sort. But you will have so like all of the cards that you pulled will be available to you at the sideboard in you pull. But if you do sideboard, you have to revert back to your original deck list that you're going to submit after that 60 minutes. So that means you can update your stuff in between games,
But not like in between rounds, basically.
Yeah.
Which I mean, that's pretty interesting because that allows you to like, as I know these players are smart, and the further like they get into the higher like the top 8s and the top 4s of this format, basically they're like, hey, that guy's deck. I talked to Jimmy over there. Jimmy said he got like these 3 cards that are really good. So I know that this specific card I have in my sideboard is good against those cards. You can't take it in until game 2. So it's like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. And let's remember, your opponent still has the opportunity to accept it. So you're not the only person.
so they may say, ooh, he's going to try to take this out. Let me swap these or something like that.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how far the metagame's going to be. For that. And then like trying to keep that secret and stuff like that is going to be a little bit difficult. I think at the pre-sleeve, the best way to do it is pre-sleeve them, kind of like slot them in and do like a quick count out. So might see a little bit of delay in between games because of that. Unless you do like 1 or 2 cards. So like I said, I love sealed. I'm happy that this is a lot of people are. There's like a whole bit of quotes about like, like this house is going to show me skill or blah blah blah. But I think this is a true test. This is hey, you have to start with a box of scraps and make an iron suit. Go ahead, right?
Now, there's some like pretty big things I'm thinking about here. I do agree with you ultimately, where it's like this is a true test of skill. At the same time, everyone's not given the exact same amount of scraps. You know, someone may get a diamond while you get like some copper pieces. And there's a real chance that you may pull no legendaries. There's a chance.
There is a chance.
No legendaries, you may get no, good cards that make you good, while someone may get, a half shark and a Jafar. Like a Jafar in this format, if you get the new Jafar from Rey Jafar in this format, it's like, oh we. If he got an illusion, like at any point, he becomes even him just pushing for 3 on that like body. It's difficult because removal is not it's sparse in sealed, and then it's even more sparse in these sets. So it's like, dang, things that cost for 3, things that have high health bars, like the new Mickey, if you can somehow get that out, even though you probably won't, because there's going to be like a lack of card draw in these sets, it's going to be a lack of removal, a lack of consistency. That's going to make the meta of this really be interesting. And so obviously these guys know how to play sealed and draft and stuff like that. So they're probably going to go for those big butt units that cost for 2, evasive units, warded units, things that you have to tech in against to deal with, are much, much, much more difficult to deal with now. Like imagine if that new Luminary had a evasive ward. That'd be awful. Hey, if someone pulled that, I'd be so spooked.
It really sounds good with theory. Yeah. Also, kudos on creating a new word between scared and sparse. But I think the idea is here's 3 colors, do something with it. I do like that it's a more limited than traditional seal. We don't do any color. You can get some more cards with it being a 2 card deck that's like 40. So I mean, those things.
Good luck to the players,
Yeah, good luck to
I
them.
do think that whoever gets top 1 or 2 probably is going to have like a really strong pools. Probably. They're the 2. He's like better player than
They all have the same. Like I know it's like it's a chance, but the probability of them getting a synergistic good card is lower. Is lower than a lot of things, and like Jafar in this case, you're stuck with having your 2 colors be purple steel, right?
Yeah,
Like,
purple
2 colors,
steel.
right? Exactly. So if you got no other purple steel from the other pack, like get support for that, then you can't build a full 50 card deck.
Yeah. So
I mean, I something they try to circumvent that with additional color, but now you can't play another set of dual color cards.
yeah, exactly.
You're right. So there's a lot of nuance here.
There's some nuance here.
Yep.
Notice the packs they gave though. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
They gave us. They're gonna say, "Oh, we're trying to go for the post ban wave," but like, nah, they gave the packs that are on the shelves.
And so that's
Shimmery Sky still pulling up the shelf.
I mean, they got you with that 16 pack, and they're going to this event for free. I don't think it's
No, they took them off the prize walls. It was like, oh, these ain't,
Yeah.
no one wanted these off the prize walls. Let's take them, put them back in the box. It really is.
But like I said, yeah, this is going to be interesting. If we do any kind of like in-depth coverage of this event, probably gonna stick with like just Shakti because we'll get more like with it's this might be like a cool little like just a little watch.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna try to peek in, especially day 2, just see what's going on. Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not happy. I'm kind of just like, okay, interesting. I wish they told the player a little sooner. Less than a month kind of sucks to deal with, but especially on the decks.
Where'd you could go? Honestly, if
what's player
with all this craziness though, just to go, like that would be
cool.
Pretty cool. But like I think the issue is having coverage of all games. So like I don't know if they're gonna just do like multiple streams and then have like all the games kind of rotate out of the stream areas. And that's a little player.
Most type of events like this are doing now.
Yep. When they have the technology, then you just keep on the camera, then you do that.
To just keep swapping the camera and go to camera B, you go to camera C type of things.
Well, I'm saying like I'm thinking that they just like find a bunch of channels that cover.
Yeah, and then like
or partner with the creators that can work even such a year.
Yeah,
that as we saw with the reveals. I think it was last time where they kind of like dripped at the reveals during different creator outlets. I think it was last time. So if they partner with those, that's even doing that. So I mean, with this most recent one,
The most recent one, they definitely did a lot with the it was crazy incident.
yeah, I can do it. See, I'm pretty bad. Like, so far, they kind of went back to traditional. Um, but yeah, I could definitely see them like kind of outsourcing the streams where the stream or on the like or let's restart, which is cool. Great, thank you for supporting
Other yeah people.
the
Well, ultimately,
play the same guy.
yeah, like ultimately, I'm happy we just got a day for the worlds because it took me way too long to get this done. But I know there's a lot of like changes going on internally, so it is what it is. Hopefully, this next year will be a lot smoother, especially with less cars having to deal with it and everything like that. So,
Yeah,
all for the best.
and you too. And they were like Google right so a melee, and I think PGB, especially completely over the Cardi. Uh, we
Yeah.
uh, Cardi and I personally know. I mean, people like Cardi. I would think the philosophy, like I'm so kidding. So we can guarantee they're going to be in good hands, and we're going to actually have a little bit more direction, right? To these trying to get some better training to these captains, so we don't get in any situations like what happened in Australia again. But yeah, those are our initial thoughts. Thank you guys for sticking around with us. And just working with us, to kind of these impromptu ways from my our
Yeah, it was a little impromptu,
but I mean, last time we did this,
all right. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. Thank you guys for watching.
thing, uh, you got the last.
See ya.